How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's Oceans Reviews here today. So today I wanted to do a different sort of video. I've had this video in mind for quite some time now. I just never really got around to preparing it, but now I've sat down and I've decided I wanted to do it. I wanted to talk about this subject, and it revolves around the subject of blind buying. Now, blind buying is a pretty bad practice when you think about it. It's a good way to waste money, but sometimes it can also be a good way to, obviously discover new movies. So there's a 50-50 risk factor when getting into movies and collecting and things like that. It just comes with it, I guess. I mean, you can also go to the cinema and watch a movie and pay money to go sit there in that cinema and watch the movie and not like it, and there's always that risk as well. But obviously you go through sort of other people's word of mouth about said movie, and that gives you like a pretty good assumption of, or a pretty good impression of what to expect, or if you'd like it or not, before buying said film. But these movies I've got here, I've selected out like 6 or 7 movies where I've just gone in, bought them and watched them and just thought they were terrible and I've made a mistake. And this is a list of movies that I wish I never bought, and I wish I never put them in my collection. You're probably thinking, Daniel, why don't you just sell them? Why don't you just pass them on? I thought, yeah, I probably will do that, but I'd also like to, make this video as well, just to see what you guys think of the movies that I picked out, if you like them, if you don't like them, because this is what it's all about. It's all about discussing movies and talking about movies. So pick these movies down below. There's about majority of the movies in my collection I like. Some not so much, but I still enjoy to some extent. But there's these movies I think I just dislike. I probably wouldn't watch them again, and I'm willing to pass them on to a charity shop or something like that. So let's get into it. Let's get into the video now. So I've got 7 titles here. So I thought I had 6, 7. Anyway, that doesn't matter. Let's get into it. So the first film I'm going to talk about, that was a film that I watched many years ago and then picked it up recently and rewatched, and I ended up just disliking it a lot. And that was 4 Holidays. This one was really disappointing. I just remember it being really good. I remember it being funny, but rewatching it around Christmas time last year, I don't know, I just wasn't funny, and it was quite depressing. I thought it just didn't have any Christmas spirit whatsoever. And I do like Vince Vaughn. You guys know I like Vince Vaughn. But this one I completely disliked the second rewatch around. And yeah, I don't know, I just didn't like it. But yeah, that's 4 Holidays. And I mean, It is a movie that I was willing to give another go, considering the price. So you probably think, yeah, it's $1. But, for the sake of this video, that's it. Now, let's get into the next one. And you're probably thinking, what the hell? Because there's like no title. And that is Tales from Earthsea. So this is a Studio Ghibli title, but it is probably one of the very, not as good Studio Ghibli titles. The story isn't great. It looks nice. It's a nice movie to look at, but it's just the character development is non-existent. The story is non-existent. It's just, I don't know, it's just like thrown together and just shown to you. And it's just not really a well done film. It's not what Studio Ghibli sort of entails at all. But probably, now I say this, I'd said that before, that I'm willing to pass these ones on. I'm probably willing to keep this just because I am, collecting the Studio Ghibli titles, but, I probably wouldn't, give my time to watch it again, really. Now, This one might rock the boat a bit, but I wanted to like it. I really wanted to like this film. I could see its sort of creative vision and things like that. I could see how it can be a good film and some people might like it, but for me, I just, after thinking about it and sitting on it for a few weeks after watching it, I feel like I just don't like it. And that is Everything Everywhere All at Once. Rocking the boat. I know some people probably really liked this film. I wanted to like it. I just couldn't get into it. I just thought it was weird. I thought it was a bit silly, a bit stupid. And I just don't understand how it won so many awards, to be honest, at the Oscars. But you know, all opinions are subjective. You guys might have really liked this film, and that's fine. I'd like to know why you like this film down below, because I haven't actually had a discussion with anyone about this movie really, but just my first impressions when picking it up and watching it, I just wasn't really impressed. I felt like I wasted, you know, a lot of my time watching it. It felt really long. It felt, yeah, just a drag to watch. So yeah, I wanted to like it. I just couldn't get into it. And I'm sorry, but that's that. It's one that I'm willing to either probably pass on and sell or something rather. Now we've got a horror film. We've got a few horror films in here. I know most horror films these days are pretty hit and miss. You know, there's been some really good ones and then there's some really bad ones. But this one I had probably really high expectations for. It was hyped so hard around Halloween time when I was watching videos and it was in people's like top 10 lists and everything. And that is The Strangers. Now, sitting down watching it, the first, I think, like 30 minutes of this film was quite good. It started to build up a bit of tension. It was getting a bit creepy, a bit weird. But after that, I realized it was just people running around this house, like banging walls and stuff like that. And I just making sounds and, you know, this lady's just running around scared and it just felt really silly. I just didn't really enjoy it. I didn't think it was scary. It just wasn't for me. I just couldn't get into it. It just wasn't a scary film. I think it's a bit overhyped. I don't know if those are some fighting words right there, but I'm sorry. I just thought it was a bit overhyped. But you know, as I said, all opinions are subjective. So you might really like this film, but I'd like to know why as well. So yeah, this is one that I'm willing to sort of pass on. I don't think I'd watch it again. I probably won't watch it again around Halloween time. Doesn't come close to being picked off at the shelf around Halloween time for me. And then we got this film. You know, I do really like my war films. You know, I love my war films. I'm open to watching new war films. I watched this one for the first time and I switched it off. Like, it was just one I couldn't get through. I just didn't think it was really good. And that is The Thin Red Line. I've heard some things about it. I know some people like it. And I was like, okay, I'm willing to give it a go. So it was a bit of a blind buy, of course. And I just didn't like it. I couldn't get into it. And I was falling asleep. I just thought it was a bit boring. I just didn't like the way how the film progressed. I just thought it was just not really engaging or I don't know. I'm not sure. I just couldn't get into this one. Let me know down below what you think of The Thin Red Line, but it's one that I'm willing to pass on. Maybe it's one that I probably should give another go at some time, at some point, but not anytime soon. I just felt really way too long, really dragged, and I couldn't get into it. I'm sorry, but we got 2 movies left. These ones are horror films, so as I said, I know you guys know definitely that some horror films can be hit and miss. So I picked this one up this was a complete blind buy. I had no previous you know, opinions or any like thing like that from anyone. I just went ahead and bought this one because I thought, oh, okay, this looks interesting, you know, like, and that's how it happens. You know, you pick up a movie and blind buy it and then you've just wasted your money. But this is The Invisible Man with Elizabeth Moss. I really couldn't get into this film. I just thought it was a bit stupid. Yeah, I don't know. The concept sounds pretty cool. I mean, the concept of the film is about like some ex-boyfriend or something, and he's like some tech dude, and he's invented this invisible like suit or something, and he's stalking Elizabeth, and it's just about that. But I just thought it was really silly. Felt really stupid to watch, and I couldn't get into it. I really didn't like this movie. Yeah, so that's The Invisible Man. And last, and also least, this is probably the worst movie out of all of these movies. It's one that I've watched once and I'll never watch it again, and I probably should just throw it in the bin, and that is Fantasy Island. I don't know. It's just, why did I buy this? Really? I mean, it's been quite some time since I've watched it, but from what I remember, I just thought it was just really, just wasn't a good movie. Like, it was pretty, I think I got through it, but I probably should have switched it off. I know the ending was just stupid, and I just didn't really like it. Yeah, it's a film that I don't really have any time of day for, really, and I'm willing to just pass this one on. So there's some movies. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing my thoughts on what I think about some of these films. You know, some of these films I might give a second go, but other than that, I'd say half of them I'd probably, you know, give away, and then the other half I might give a second go, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, just some disappointing film experiences. Say majority of them I don't really want in the collection anymore, but there you go, there's that stack. I know everyone's got some movies in their collection that they're not exactly proud of, or they just don't really enjoy, or they think like, why do I have that? And that's the stack of movies in my collection that I just, why do I have this? Why did I buy it? Can't believe I watched it, sort of thing. But yeah, I'd love to at least, like, this is supposed to invoke like some sort of discussion as well, this video. So it's not necessarily an attack on your favorite movie. You know, it might be one of these, might be a, you know, movie that you like, but this is maybe like a discussion I can invoke in the comments, so you can tell me, you know, maybe how I'm wrong. Maybe, you know, Daniel, you need to give this another go. You know, why do you you know, you have a different thought process on it. So I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This was a bit of a rambling sort of video. I felt like I rambled a bit, but I hope you guys enjoyed this sort of video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.